What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chaos. So welcome to a new episode of Take It to the Table. I am joined by none other than an esteemed panel. Sorry, Clark, I'm going to take your line from the Daily Show. Obviously, to my right is first off none other than Anthony. How you doing today, sir?
Doing all right. It's been a long week. Looking forward to this.
Yes, it's been. I feel your pain. It's been a long week for all of us, I'm sure. But yeah, kick back, ran off. Obviously, wherever your grievances you have with the wrestling world, feel free to leave them here. Obviously, down below is none other than the host of the Soul Sessions, none other than Soul. How you doing today, sir?
Oh, it has been a fantastic week. Not only has the great anime Attack on Titan ended, but we're getting a GTA 6 trailer next week. I'm here taking the table, so it's been a great week all around. I have no complaints.
Couple corrections. All right, first off, GTA, the trailer's coming out next month. That's what they're saying.
Next month? Oh, for fuck's sake. This week.
And it's probably going to be nothing. You're just going to see the logo. That's all you're going to see. Anyway. And it's been a good week for you. That's good. Must be nice. But yeah, that's good. Glad to have you here. And of course, last but not least, of course, the king of the Daily Show on Wrestling Republic is none other than Clark Taylor. How you doing today, sir?
Good to see you as always, Chaos. Good to see everybody. I mean, honestly, if anyone was doing better than me as a gambler, I'd bet against that because I'm just having as good a day as you could ask for. We had a blast today on the Daily. We had a blast yesterday on the Daily. We had a blast on off the air. We got Take It to the Table on tap. What's more fun than this? Come on.
See,
somebody stop us.
You killed it. You killed it. Yeah, I like that. Yes.
Somebody stop us. I'm really warming up in here. That's my week. Nice.
Oh, yeah. Even better. Yeah, rub it in, why don't you? Cost of living and all that must be applying to you. Anyway, moving swiftly on, we got a jam-packed episode today. It's going to be very AEW centric, as you can probably see by the t-shirt, and obviously Soul is obviously grinning from ear to ear. That's going to be AEW related. We are of course going to be talking about some end of the year stuff. Obviously there's the pay-per-view on December 31st or the 30th, one of them, AEW World's End, and it's going to be hailing in Long Island. So we're just going to give our thoughts of how can they maximize interest on this peculiar placed pay-per-view of the year for the AEW. And of course they one of Tony Khan's more important announcements, obviously everyone's pretty much been crapping all over it because of he could have done it another way, but anyway, All In has been confirmed to go up to obviously happen in London, Wembley, and obviously tickets are going out on sale soon and everything like that. So obviously it'd be very interesting to see how they can strike the iron twice and try, get as 80,000 plus in the stadium. So we just wanted to gauge your guys' thoughts on what matches could they put on to obviously make sure that, or what will be your fantasy card, if you will, for All In 2. And anything else in between. So sit back, make sure you grab yourself a beer, some popcorn, join us in the conversations. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, all that good stuff. And without further ado, let us take it to the table. Roll the trailer.
Jesus Christ, I still don't get that intro at all.
I think I need to buy a table, dude. Like,
is this why Marvel sucks now? Is this why Marvel sucks now, Chaos? Because you've taken their orchestra.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, have you heard the reviews about the new movie, The Marvels? It has been getting crapped on it lately. It's crazy.
Yeah, because no one cares about superhero movies anymore. As long as it's not The Boys, then everyone doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, definitely. Hey.
Gotham City. Got him. That's what I mean. He went Gotham City on him. Got him.
I guess so.
What else can you say?
Yeah, what else can you say? Definitely screw Marvel for now. Yeah, bring back the DC universe. Anyway, back onto more wrestling stuff. AEW, as of this recording, is obviously the next pay-per-view is Full Gear. But a couple of weeks ago, they announced that on the last day of the year, December 31st, it is going to be AEW World's End. Weirdly named. I mean, like, how is that? Was it multiple worlds? Like, what's going on? Why can't you just say World End? But anyway, End of the World, whatever. Going to be hailing in Long Island. Obviously, we all know that is MJF's backyard. Surely that's not a coincidence. They've particularly put this pay-per-view at that time of the year. Obviously, we all know it is going to be the bidding war of 2024 regarding MJF's contract. So yeah, I just wanted to besides that, I mean, I wanted to gauge your guys' thoughts on like how could they possibly maximize interest in this show, considering that obviously where it's going to be at. MJF is currently the AEW World Champion, and you know, how could they really make this pay-per-view important? Surely they must have a game plan, and you know, obviously creatively, AEW has been scrutinized over for admittedly quite a while, unfortunately. But yeah, how do you feel they could actually maximize this? You know, so you know, let me just start off with the I guess the biggest fan out here. It's arguably, I would say, Soul. And like, how you know, what's your hype levels regarding this this pay-per-view currently, and what do you think they could actually bring to the table, if you will, to maximize it?
Well, this is going to be fun because I'm going to say, because I haven't actually watched AEW for the last 2 weeks.
Wow, what? Okay, I know. In anime, they usually say "nani." Like, what's happening there? Well, it's okay, but what's your thoughts?
Busy, man. It's been work and shit, and like stay up till 1 a.m. and then it's just like, oh, I can't be arsed, you know. And then just had the time. But I mean, I think with AEW, as long as I don't know why the hell they hired Ric Flair, just keep that in the bloody back burner. Don't just keep him for like press and stuff, and just bring him out like Cardblade. And hey, Ric Flair versus Cardblade, put that on World's End on the pre-show on 0 Hour. I would actually watch that and actually have a very hell of a time watching that. But let's go to World's End. I feel like with it being in Long Island, it has to be MJF's show. So it depends, because if you look at another thing, well, I noticed the All-In poster. You've got Adam Copeland, you've got Darby, you've got Tony Storm, you got Kenny and that. But MJF's not on the poster. There's no MJF, and he's the champion right now. Bit odd, maybe, to cater to the whole Bidding War 2024 thing. I personally don't know if MJF is going to re-sign. I really just feel like it can, like, only one who knows is him. If he wants to go to WWE, which honestly, people who have gone there, like Cody, has done well for himself. Jade, she's not wrestled, but she's getting a big fat paycheck. If I got a big fat paycheck to sit my arse and just look pretty, hey, sign me up, I'll take it. So there is an enticing offer there. With AEW, I feel like with what a lot of people who went there and stay there is the creative freedom to do other things. And I know he's appearing in that Iron Claw movie against, former hot throb of the teenagers, millennia, Zac Efron. Cool, whatever you can do there. So maybe that's something for him. But I think this show will be, I think it's going to be called World's End because I think it will be the end of MJF's title reign.
Mm-hmm.
I think the way I would do it is if he was healthy enough, get Adam Cole to run interference on MJF and cost him the title against someone. Who? I would personally say Swerve Strickland.
Yes.
Have Swerve Strickland beat MJF for the title. You have Swerve Strickland as your heel champion who is doing amazing things right now. And MJF's story of 2024 is if he's going to resign, it's to get his honor back against Adam Cole. And that's the story there. So if MJF doesn't resign, then have Adam Cole beat him and then basically kick him out of the company. Or if he has resigned, have MJF be like, my contract ends one day before Double or Nothing. And I'm so certain I want to kick your ass. I've signed an extension or I've signed a new contract. And that's basically what the story is for the Double or Nothing match. MJF re-signing to stay so he can, defeat Adam Cole, say he is the devil, and get the title back that he was screwed out of losing. As well on World's End, I think with it being a new pay-per-view, you want it to start hot. So I would have the Edge and Christian feud start match 1 there. Have that be the big blowout match there. Trios-wise, I would have the Acclaimed versus... If they're going to change the title, I think you would have the Acclaimed versus Bullet Club Gold of Juice Robinsons and the Guns. Give that to them because they're very popular as well. Tag titles, I would have, why is he called? Was he Big Bill? I thought Bill Morrissey was better.
Yeah, Big Bill.
Bill
W Big Bill.
Yeah, I mean, tag wise, that I feel like the tag titles right now are very flux because who to put, maybe best friends, give them like their validation of time.
Meh.
Have that be or even the Lucha Bros, if they can do that. Women's wise, keep it on Shida. I don't want Toni Storm personally to win at Full Gear. I want Shida to beat her, and then Toni just goes another crazy loony bin. Like have like the old WCW Ric Flair Asylum segments. Have that, and she could just be like she's always trapped in a silent picture. She doesn't talk or promos on that. She always acts it out, something like that. Craziness. TBS title, yeah, that's been buried, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if this is me or the drink talking, but it's one of those. Or it's either one's talking right
A little
now.
bit of both, and it still makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think with that, I feel like I don't get like I've been watching Ring of Honor's Instagram, and what Athena's done is amazing. Like I don't get why the male champions come on, but not Athena. Like why is Athena not K1 done like a match on Rampage or something like that? Why is it like the Mogul Embassy who lost to Elite, and then the Elite like I get it's kind of a story reason why they lost, and this is me catching up on like 6 months of stuff because it's not been on the daily, so it's like just me verbal diarrheaing everything right now as well.
That's cool.
Like I get it's for the storyline purpose. That's absolutely fine. Then to have it back and then be like on a proper Ring of Honor team. I honestly I canceled my Honor Club subscription a long time ago. So I mean that's
wow. Fair enough. So is it safe to say that you also feel like that creatively AEW has been on a decline compared to obviously the Glory, CM Punk days, and like the first run?
Nah, don't get me twisted. Fuck that bitch. I don't give a shit about CM Punk. I want the era I want of AEW back was the pandemic era. That's the era I really truly miss.
Okay.
I truly miss the Daily's place where like that was like I feel like that was like AEW so like what drew me in. Now like don't get me wrong, they have amazing wrestlers and all that, but I think what else as well is when you turn on like any Reddit or Instagram or YouTube, you just see people shitting on it 24/7. And how can you as a fan really get invested when every circle you turn it's Tony Khan does this or companies like this, TV deal like this. I mean, hey, at least I'm not an NWA fan because they're really into shit right now. They screw the shit. Who like they're two fans from Southern Detroit. I don't know. What's the Southern? Maybe one quick.
Too many bumps. My bad.
Yeah. Too many bumps. Pennsylvania Southern or Georgia? I don't know. I should have stayed more in geography. All right, kind of failed that. Cool. But I just don't like. I feel like every company has their low points. I mean, like WWE, you have to look at their like 90s and all that when like so many people gone, and it could be a dip. The main thing is, do you retain the fans you have and then get out of that dip, or is it a continuation of what happens? I mean, when does AEW's TV deal expire with Warner? That's the thing I've always wondered. Is it the end of this year? Is it next year? Because
I think it'll be end of next year. I think 2025.
That's the brilliance of the private company. They don't even have to disclose it.
Yeah,
that too. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I just
as far as we know, they could have already signed one.
Yeah,
hey, we never know. I mean, I want them to do better. Because I truly love the company. I mean, you can see the price that I paid behind me right there.
Oh yeah.
As long as they do better, I would still have a good feeling towards the company. I mean, hey, I went to a WWE house show, so I mean, is my allegiance chaining? Am I now like, if I gone into like the Lakers territory with a Chicago Bulls top on and just
there you go.
You bitches. Hey, that's my 3 pesos on the matter.
Fair dues. I mean, that is a solid card. Yeah, they do have to do something, memorable with MJF, and the pitch that you've obviously given was that I could definitely see that happen. But yeah, I think they could go multiple ways regarding this, I'd say. But what about you, Anthony? What's your thoughts on World's End? Are you excited for it, and how would you make it a must-see pay-per-view?
I think you have to build it around the intrigue of, is this the end of MJF and AEW? I think you build it in the same way Money in the Bank was built with CM Punk in Chicago. Is this the end? And now, obviously, this isn't the Punk situation. Punk wasn't the champion going in. But I think that's how you build it around. I think you build it around, okay, did he resign? Did he not resign? Is he walking out as champion? Is he not walking out as champion? I think you need to do something major, like huge, to really gain interest here. One of the things I said to you, Chaos, the other two guys don't know this. Eventually, I want to write this. Again, I feel like I keep breaking fantasy booking stuff on here.
Please don't.
We love it. We love it. Give Soul another discussion.
I would honestly have the devil get revealed, but it's not who you're expecting. It's Tony Khan. He screws MJF, the screw job,
me,
like Montreal.
Go ahead.
It works either way, whether he leaves the company or he stays. If he stays, you got an Austin McMahon type deal you can go with. A corporate evil owner. He can lean into the Richie Rich type gimmick because there's a portion of the fans that don't respect him. They feel he just bought his way in. He's daddy's trust fund kid. Lean into it. Play the heel. I know he said, I don't want to be a character on TV. You need to make a decision. What's more important to you? Not being a character or doing something hugely dramatic to help your company? Look at what happened with WWF. That screw job led to the creation of Mr. McMahon, which led to the Austin McMahon feud, which propelled WWF back into the lead over WCW, and Vince became the czar of the wrestling industry. They didn't get to take advantage of Brett getting his revenge till many years later, and Brett really couldn't wrestle anymore because of the concussion, his Louis London settlement. You could do that with MJF if he stays. If he leaves, you've still created an evil owner. You can run with it. It created some type of excitement because realistically, who else are you going to put in that devil's mask that's really going to create that buzz? And to me, no one has suggested Tony Khan.
Accurate there.
Yes.
I feel like Anthony, if you got a crystal ball there or something, I swear to God, you need that prediction. I gotta have that.
There's a lot of steam in that idea. There's
you're right. That kid, that definitely when he told me that, I was like, I mean, if he pulls it off, if he can, I mean, because right now so far, when Tony Khan's on TV, I'm like, I fear that he's gonna overload and then just pass out.
Hey, you know what? Well, I'm gonna say an even crazier one for the Devil's Mask.
Well, the one thing I do want to say is, and I know there'll be the question of going, yeah, but the Devil group jumped Jay White. True, but if it was all part of a story to alienate MJF because he's doing the babyface thing, where people aren't sure to trust him, you created more animosity in the locker room towards MJF. There's the question of whether or not Adam Cole was involved. If Jay White and they're all in cahoots with Tony Khan, it's almost like Bischoff with the NWO.
Which is interesting too, because to your point, Bischoff did get slammed he got powerbombed by Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
Well before the reveal that he was running the NWO happened. Yep. And at the time it did land. It's really good insight on that one because
it's a crazy swerve. Yeah.
It's a very interesting swerve that mattered so much during the initial Monday Night Wars.
Yeah. And you keep MJF off TV for a while. Like if he did resign, don't do it on Saturday and he shows up on Wednesday. He's got to be off for a while selling whatever happens to him. Whether maybe it's a last man standing or something, and he hits him with brass knucks made out of the diamond rings or something. They need to sell it, and he needs to be off TV. Tony doesn't have to be in a match with MJF. Nobody wants to see that. But Tony getting a group of people going, listen, people think I get taken advantage of. Enough of this shit. All you're talking about is the bidding war. I've dealt with egomaniacs. I fired one, and now I'm rid of you, and you're not taking your world title, my world title, with you.
I don't mind it in the least.
What about you, Sol? You say you had something crazy out there. What was your one?
So I think if you want to keep it linked to Adam Cole, I would have the Devil be someone linked to Adam Cole, but someone no one would really expect. I would have the Devil be Britt Baker.
Oh, for sure, I was going to say Kyle O'Reilly, but fair enough. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have it like
What?
Adam's like if it's put it like as a legitimate injury and like just have it like Adam was doing all this plan, but because he was doing stuff for Max has affected him, so now he's at home. And who does really Adam trust enough to orchestrate with his plan? You may think, yeah, with Roderick and all that and the Kingdom, his friends, but you don't. I like as a man, I don't think you can trust anyone else who you share more than a bed with. So I mean, have that, have him orchestrate with Britt. Britt does this thing as well, and then it's revealed that like we get basically like a power couple with Britt and Adam. I personally wouldn't have Britt go for the world title again. I would have her go for the TBS to try and elevate that. So then you have Britt Baker with the TBS, Adam with the AEW World Championship. Kingdom, they can have Ring of Honor tag belts for all I care. Roderick, I would give him a pimped out wheelchair and a new nice diamond neck brace for all neck awareness. We've got to have that. And have that be a story as well. Because I mean, I know Cornette would probably burst a blood vessel with Britt Baker.
Oh yeah, it was
MJF.
Cornette might even freak out about that one.
Yeah,
Cardi Cornette,
maybe
our good friend at the channel.
I feel like you need to say that Snoop Dogg who meme for me because I don't know who that is.
With pleasure.
Who?
Yeah, no, but it could go either way. I'm not. Well, I remember at the beginning there was people online considering when it was the first jump. People were alluding that it could possibly be Baker. Obviously, it's either her or Jack Perry. But yeah, you're right. Anthony pretty much said it right. Like if it's not the obvious person, which will be Punk, there's no one else that'll be as big as a reveal other than Tony Khan. So that'll be cool. We'll see. We'll see. What about you, Clark? Do you what matches do you think they could actually do to maximize interest?
I said it first on the Punk thing. I've always believed someday we'd get worked. SRS, shout out Fightful for, copycatting me. Good luck. That's awesome. And it's sweet of them. Imitation is a sincere form of flattery. So that's a lesson I learned long ago. I will say this. If it's not CM Punk, it better be something big. No matter what. And we've talked whether it's Adam Cole, whether it's Tony Khan, the suggestion that Anthony had. That's the next closest I think that I've heard. So you made great points. I mean, look, this bidding war of 2024 thing, we need to take charge of this because personally, I think outside of kayfabe, the kid's already signed a big old deal, and he got a big old bag for it. I think he has already long ago. Booking the event in Long Island is just so fun. It's brilliant. It's awesome. Or on Long Island. I apologize to my Long Islander friends out there. Go Islanders in New York. But just booking the show on Long Island is it makes a ton of sense. And you have Max as your ultimate chess piece, right? If we're playing chess, he's your queen. And I don't mean that don't think of that. I'm talking just purely chess strategy wise, right? He can do all of it is the point that I'm making. And there's so many challengers that make sense. Whoever is behind the mask not only needs to have an impact on this show, but I want kayfabe and I want the storytelling to extend beyond. I want unsure he's signed. If we're going to return, and I say return, not like return, but return MJF heel. Not a bad time. It's not a bad time to do so.
Yep.
And he walks away and leaves and carries that belt out of there. And we're not so sure for a few months. But either way, it's kind of a must-win situation for AEW. And we've talked about the existential stuff as far as so Anthony, Chaos, we're all fans of AEW. Like it is cool. I challenger brand or not, whatever you want to call it, right? It's just nice to have more wrestling on television. You know, it's been too long. It's you know, at the very least, maybe we complain too much at times, and I'll admit that I'm at fault for that at times. AEW as the challenger brand, being the Lyft to the Uber right this second, the Pepsi to the Coke, needs to get us thinking. That is the key to this whole thing. They need to get us going, what are they doing here? Wait a minute. What's this storyline? What's that storyline? I don't know anyone more equipped in the world to do that than Maxwell Jacob Friedman. That's your guy. So whatever it is, and whatever's on the other side of it, I just want it to feel special, first and foremost. And most importantly, make us think. Make us have to think. Make us have to ask questions. Make us have to be concerned about what's going on from here. And whatever that is, I promise you we'll all be excited about.
Yeah, I mean, that's you pretty much kind of called it as, or how I would predict it, or how I would, the best way to maximize interest in my eyes is definitely involving Punk turning heel. Like if it's a real shame that Adam Cole is obviously injured right now. He could have definitely factored into it, and then obviously something happened that pretty much was like the final straw that broke the camel's back, if you will, regarding MJF, where something happens where he just finally snaps and he just goes scorched earth on everyone, like any like literally scorched earth. Like he recalls about obviously him doing the scissor, because there's been plenty of things that he's been forced to do that he doesn't really want to do, and there's only so much a man could take. He's done the scissoring with the Acclaimed, you know. He was forced to team up with Cole, all this stuff with Roderick. There's been a lot of stuff that could easily make a man snap, and what they could possibly do is that I want the MJF that told everyone that Tony Khan is a fucking mark. That kind of scorched earth MJF. He completely just goes nuts on everybody, and then obviously it's just a few weeks before the World's End pay-per-view, and obviously Tony Khan is panicking that this man could leave my company with my world championship, and obviously in the midst during this whole time they are lining up already plenty of people to face MJF. You got Wardlow, you got Powerhouse Hobbs, you obviously got Jay White, you've got someone else. Sorry?
Joe.
Yeah, Joe as well. All these powerhouses. What I would possibly do, what Tony Khan could probably do, is on World's End, he does like a gauntlet match. He's trying to, someone out of all these people needs to take the title away from MJF before January 1st, 2024. And then, you know, he obviously is getting pummeled, but obviously we don't know if is he going to win, is he going to retain, who's going to take it. And then obviously he could actually retain it and do exactly what CM Punk did at Money in the Bank. Blows a kiss goodbye to Tony Khan, runs into the crowd, and he's do what obviously WWE didn't, actually keep him off for months. See him probably show up in other companies, because AEW's got a working relationship with many other companies. Then WWE would be willing to do so, and then do something after that. Like I kind of stopped booking after that. But yeah, definitely like a gauntlet match with all these powerhouses, because Tony Khan is desperate to get the title back up from him, and he fails, and yeah, he runs off. So that's what I would do to maximize interest into World's End. What do you think of that one?
I totally agree, and I think storyline wise, it makes perfect sense. That's the move. I mean, look, we're in MJF's hometown too, right? On top of it,
yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
So baby faced, but you think about New York, East Coast crowds, right? Anthony, you're from Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. There's not any bullshit. I forgot I can curse on Take It to the Table. Cheers, guys. There's not any fucking bullshit taken, whether it's a New York crowd or a Philly crowd. You know what I mean? And if MJF starts giving you some fucking bullshit early, now we're talking. Now we're seeing something different. You know what I mean? And it returns you to the character we all know he really is, right? He's our scumbag for now.
You need to either do the Punk exit or you need to do the Montreal screw job.
Yeah.
Those are the only two finishes that would create enough buzz around AEW of going, what's happening next? That's my opinion. Those are the only two ways 100%. You can end that pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we could do an NWA thing and get kicked off TNT, and that would be really generating views.
Well, yeah, no, they just get Dr. James Mitchell to do some bumps.
Just Tony Khan comes out.
There's something I can say here, but I know I can't for legal purposes.
Sorry, I meant take some bumps.
Now, look, come on. Have Tony Khan come out with a white face with 2 white claws just fucking screaming, ah! Oh, shit.
You want him to do his best Herb Abrams? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes, get the vaccine and maybe
let's toss it to Dr. James Mitchell while he and his friends do a lot of cocaine in the suite.
It's 1980 all over again, boys.
They did.
Oh my gosh!
Totally taped.
As soon as that happened, all the TV networks was like basically.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. All right then. I don't know what the fuck this shit, I'm out.
My favorite part was it was some report that said that the NWA went, they told us they weren't going to watch the pay-per-views. What? You just signed a TV deal. Maybe hold off on the blow. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
You think Billy Corgan was in the back like, hold the strippers, boys. They ain't going to like this too.
No, it's just booger sugar, guys. Everybody relax.
It's just flour, gluten-free.
Was a deal made for the gimp? Like, I mean, really? Like, what did you say no to?
Well, that was the funniest. I felt terrible for I felt terrible for the poor guy on the announce desk. He like tossed it to him, and he's like, "We're going to talk to good old James Mitchell," and then it was like, "No, we're not. He's doing cocaine."
And then Tim Storm, who's a former NWA World Champion, that the NWA sells like a thing about like Tim's mom. I'm going, what? This guy was a school teacher. Why are you putting him in this situation?
I'm fully excited.
As soon as he passes the straw, you're like,
welcome our new announce team, Tucker Carlson. Bring him on, boys. Bring on the controversy.
I just want to know in the back, like, when that was pitched, no one thought this was what did you say no to?
I can't fathom anyone pitched that they're ripping
What
lines.
was offered here? All right, you can't shoot up. You could start it, but no shooting up. Like what is the line?
Seriously, speaking of you said shooting up, I think it was a shoot. I think genuinely, like nobody's that stupid. I think genuinely, it was like he was like just doing a bunch of blow, and with his buddies, and then he was like, shoot, I forgot I was supposed to be on. Like, because they cut it so awkwardly, it's like. You think about the way they cut it back. They were like,
I guess backstage.
Yeah, we're going to talk to Dr. James Mitchell up in the balcony, and then they're like, I guess we're not.
No,
actually, now
he wasn't even in the
balcony. He's got other priorities.
Actually, I think Farrah Mitchell just thinking no one watches the fucking NWA. No one's going to notice.
Yeah, pretty much. When they forgot that with the internet, shit travels fast. I don't know what.
Listen,
it was.
I feel bad for the poor talent that's out there just ripping lines on the balcony.
So you complained about this when Tyrus was the champion. And I said, listen, he was the champion because they had him on Fox News. It was free advertisement. They lost that. You want to do something to create a buzz? Doing some lines on a pay-per-view, well, that'll do it.
So you're
in all fairness,
ripping them.
In all fairness, that is now. Warn Tony Khan, World's End, don't do blow on air.
Tony's there with like Crayola, like, don't do blow. Okay. What's this Ring of Honor stuff going to my head?
Could you just imagine just like a whiteboard of notes? First one, don't do blow.
Just like imagine
it out. It's like imagine though.
Billy no more cocaine. It's just like, at the top.
On air. It's got to be in parentheses on air. Off air is fine.
Kurt
Cocaine. Your nostrils flaring.
Oh my gosh.
Well, yeah. Everybody on that balcony was pretty fired up, as far as I could tell.
Oh yeah, definitely. That white lightning would do that to you. So yeah, fair enough.
How did we get on this topic?
I don't know. As soon as it's just like everyone was waiting for it because you guys just went off. I'm just like, fair enough.
Everyone just itching the trigger finger, like someone mentioned Smashing Pumpkins or NWA, or I'm gonna fucking burst at this moment. I need to talk about this shit.
I only think the people that were on TV in the NWA did the cocaine, though. I don't think everyone in wrestling does. That's just, I wanted to get that out.
So if I next
Not
watch
anymore.
it, if I see Clark bend down, am I gonna be suspicious?
The ones that were obviously just
Operating
absolutely
boys.
ripping bangers off the table. That's stuff
Welcome
that
to the Daily Blow every day.
on video.
On video as well, yeah, live
What are
on
you
air.
thinking?
Anyway, enough of that.
No more blow
This
talk?
pay-per-view,
Oh, that's a
I got our all-in plans already.
Yeah, Chaos. So, what do you think about heroin? I'm kidding.
What?
I'm sorry.
It's the one thing they said no to on air.
It's a hell of a drop.
Definitely don't shoot up.
Lit in the trouble. Ugh.
Whatever you do, don't do that. Sorry.
Please, yeah, we do not condone that on you. Yeah, YouTube. Please don't ban this video, please.
Never do that.
You
Never do that.
You almost wondered if there was supposed to be another segment with that, and they went, "Wait, we're
Probably.
getting enough baggage with the lines."
Sure.
I'm sure. I'm definitely sure. Like, yeah, if they go away with it, it'll be like, oh, wait till you see this.
We have more.
Wait
We
till you
can
see what
the
24
zappers they
brings.
do next week.
So basically, instead of like
Just
a
do
Kurt
that.
Angle milk truck, it's just basically Billy Corgan with a fan and a big pile of like white dust. It's like
Big pyramid.
Just wait till you see the zappers they pull next week up in the balcony.
AEW all in, everybody. So it's happening next year, August 30th. It's sometime in August. I am
went all in.
completely frazzled.
They're totally wrestling in August.
That's happening in Wembley. Okay, cool. This time Clark said he's going to be there. Obviously, the week after that is going to be WWE's version of All In. They're going to be at the Bash at Berlin. But we're not talking about that. We're going to be talking about All In. Obviously, the first show was a huge success. Currently ranked as the highest. What's it? The biggest crowd, basically the biggest crowd in wrestling history. The numbers can be debated. Yeah, for two different totals, but that's another topic. They're still touting it. So obviously, it's at the same pay-per-view, same venue. Do you guys feel that they can actually strike lightning twice in terms of do you feel like they're going to exceed what they did last year, or just talk to me on this. I'm still trying to
They're
regather
at least going to get one more because I'll be there this year. I wish I was there last year.
Yeah.
Clark coming over with the
He
LA
talked about
flag, like,
Super
"Yeah."
In. He talked about Super In, which is the week after. I think this time it's going to sell out quick once again. And I think the key lies in, honestly, like what we talked about on the last subject. What's the card look like? Right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, as much as we all love wrestling, right? We will buy tickets. Us four, this four, right? To All In or whatever WWE calls it, Super In Germany, whatever it is. Double In. Yeah, double in, triple in, whatever it is. We're all in, right? Generally speaking, no pun intended. It doesn't necessarily matter the card. It's about the experience. We've been fans for our whole lives. We watch the show. Getting people who don't necessarily always watch it is card dependent. That's just kind of a fact. You know what I mean? And the better the card looks, I think the easier it'll be to sell tickets. I think this second time around, as far as All In is concerned, I think it'll sell out quicker than the first one. And we're going to hear a lot of that. We'll be having this conversation again around this time next year about, oh, well, they resold it out. They did this. They did that. The second time, the third time's the test. That's where I might get nervous, Chaos. To your point, question-wise, like the third time I think is going to be the real test. To 2025, at that point it'll be that All In if they can sell out Wembley again, now we're talking. I do think the second time, people that didn't go the first, we're in a position where it's just easier to sell out arenas than it was 2 years ago. Not necessarily one. I understand the show was only 1 year ago, but we're now in a position where it's possible. There's precedent. And not only that, the experience was awesome. I mean, you guys were there, right? Chaos, you were there, Soul, as well, right? It was enjoyable. It was an awesome experience. I don't think it'll be impossible. In fact, I do believe that they'll sell it out a second time.
So
the third is the test.
I'm good
to me.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to be like El Jefe Ben Allison here. They didn't technically sold it out.
Sell it out. I'm sorry. They'll sell it big.
It will sell it it'll do very well. You say it will be definitely another
I think it'll be. I think they might actually sell it out. I guess. Now let's put it that way. I think they might actually sell it out this time.
Very true.
Only because you get the FOMO ticket sales.
Yeah.
The fear of missing out classic. On top of that, they're still rolling. Unless you lose MJF and a few other names, AEW is still rolling, and it's still a big deal. And booking Wembley is still a big deal. The same people plus that bought tickets to just see the spectacle, I believe, will do so as well.
Yeah, it's the same people that actually do. That's what people go for WrestleMania. Like they're like super. There's like super casual fans that they're going to be just grabbing beers and just want to be part of the pyrotechnics,
hoopla, the fun.
Whoa, chaos. They won't be grabbing beers because they were $10.50 a fucking pint, and I hate that shit.
By the way, at Mania they were $14.
Yeah, but conversion rate makes it better for me. So that's
worse.
Yeah. For us, that's
conversion rate. That is about $10.50. That's good.
For all in. It's like, I mean, Chaos, you're definitely going to be going, right? You love the time you spend with me in that premiere.
Of course, you're my bestie. Yeah. My wallet's going to be crying because I got bashed to Berlin like afterwards. But yeah.
You got to go to that. You got to go to Berlin.
I'm going to have to make the double move.
Berlin, yeah.
I got to get the old passport renewed, my friends.
Oh dear, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Lots to use. I mean,
it's
Berlin's
good. Just
beer. I'd probably die.
The pages are crusty.
Anyway,
I'll go for my thoughts on All In. There's many things I'm excited for. Wingstop. That was beautiful. I want to go back to that again. I mean, beautiful wings. I want to do more independent shows. I did Riot Cabaret there when I original time. That was a fun experience. Since then, I've interviewed the co-owner of Progress, so definitely have to attend the Progress show just to keep up the validation and the appreciation for a guest. I mean, they're doing amazing things right now. I want to see a Rev Pro show as well, because obviously when me and Chaos didn't together, we saw with David, he saw Chris Jericho attack Will Ospreay. I mean, we miss out on the moments. Hey, we got to see John Cena on a big screen for Barbie, so I think that's a win. I just think I want to do as much things as I can. Obviously, AEW All In is going to be a fun experience in itself. Again, I want to get floor seats. Look, I'll bring a booster seat or stilettos. I'm going to see. I want to get that kind of experience because I think that'd be an amazing thing to do. But I think with All Into the card's an interesting one. As I mentioned before, MJF's not on the poster. Could that be a reference to him leaving or in Strongline 24? Whatever it is, we'll find out later enough. Obviously, there's going to be people who were on the card last year who are not. Punk, obviously not. Sting, he'll be retired by Revolution, so that's him gone. Nobody else I can really think of on the current card last year who, isn't going to be there anymore for any other reasons, but we don't know in wrestling is the whole things could happen. I think Edge or Adam Copeland is going to be such a big benefit to All Into, because if you look at Clash of the Castle, UK fans were singing his theme like anything, and he's a very recognizable name, especially for the UK crowd. So he will be a big seller for that crowd. What match I would have him in? Personally, if the Christian feud is done by then, I would have either the blow-off there or have him challenge for a title, maybe something like the TNT or the International. And to say you had Adam Copeland with one of your titles is a good accolade in itself. I would be absolutely fine with that. Or heck, you could even have what I've mentioned before many times is like the celebratory retirement thing with the Hardys and Edge and Christian. like a retirement on the line match, so the Hardys can retire because I feel like
That
they're
will
done.
not be a good match.
On this day, that's what I like, though.
Yeah, it'll sell tickets, so people can bash whatever. But if it gets money flowing, that's the main thing you want from it at the end of the day. I think that would be good end to the Hardys because they are really at their limit right now, and I feel like
maximum limit. Yeah,
They've been past their expiration mark for a while.
Yeah, that best 4 days pretty much expired right now. Otherwise, I feel like another good match to have on there would be if he signed with the company. I would have Jay White versus Ospreay on that card.
In a place with
for Omega, I personally think I would love to see out of the Swerve Strickland Hangman feud, Hangman turn heel. Have heel Hangman versus face Kenny.
Yes,
because I think that would be.
We leave it all behind.
And I just feel like they can get so much benefit from All In 2. Obviously, big thing and all that, but they have a lot of complaints last time with the last All In was too many multi-man matches, not enough singles going in. I personally don't mind. I mean, hey, more multi-man, you get to see more of your favorite wrestlers, so I really don't care. But yeah, to say I'm excited, the only thing I'm despising at the moment is Ticketmaster because I know that will crash.
Yes, I fear Ticketmaster. I'm sorry, Ticketmaster, but you absolutely suck ass on any ticket that I flip and buy. So yeah, that'll be fun to do. But what about you, Anthony? What's your predictions, or what would you like to see on All In 2?
I think it's one of those things that, especially because the major wrestling, WWE and AEW, don't go to the UK that often, so they only go like once a year.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a huge part of the draw. Like most times they'll go to places, especially in the States, 2-3 times a year. So I think that will help them because it's the second time they're doing it. It's a big show for them. I think they'll do well ticket wise. I think the card's going to play a bigger role in it than the first time around, because the first time around it was the whole spectacle of it. This time I think the card's going to play a bigger role, and each subsequent year the card's going to play a bigger role. I think the FOMO will play a role this year, but then you look at them doing Arthur Ashe in New York.
Yeah.
It was a big draw the first time.
Yeah.
They were having a hard time moving those tickets this time around.
Yeah.
So I think the card plays a huge role. If you build it around, major feuds, whether it's a world title feud or you do a dream match, for example, Adam Copeland against Will Ospreay. I think you could do stuff with that. I think you're going to have to build it around must see.
Yeah.
Just calling it the biggest show ever, like they did the last time. I'm never a fan of that. Like when WWE called the WrestleMania the most stupendous or the greatest wrestling match. Like I don't like that stuff because it puts too much pressure on the show.
Yeah.
And for me, when I looked at it, I thought All Out this year was better than All In. And All Out was built within 7 days. Like realistically, you built up All In, all this hype around it, the biggest show. It didn't really, the biggest thing coming out of it was like, so Jack Perry got beat up by Punk in the back. Like that was like a major story. An argument over glass windshields. I mean, You know what I mean? It's like, it should be their biggest night, but like AEW has this curse. It's their biggest night and it gets detracted. You kept MJF TV for months. He finally returns to All Out 2021. What is everyone talking about? The press conference after, because he crapped all over everybody. No one paid attention. The fact that MJF finally returned, he was going for the world title. No one cared. It was all about, did you hear what Punk said about the EVPs and Mindy's and
I mean, nothings.
Yeah,
to your point, I was at that show, dude.
I know you were.
Bizarre in the airport. To your point, afterwards, we were like, what a great show last night. We had a blast. Can't wait to see MJF.
Yeah.
And then it was like, wait,
all that shit.
Oh, yeah. And you're like checking your phone. You're like, oh, well, what? Uh-huh. It became about donuts or whatever. I'm sorry, pastries.
I won't lie. The
their
thoughts
curse.
crossed my mind of attending All Into and Punk cosplay with muffins just for
Yeah.
shits and giggles.
And then you look at like every time AEW has this like really positive moment.
Yeah.
Like them going head to head with NXT. Okay, fine. WWE stacked the deck, whatever. It was on a different night, whatever. They still put up a commendable 600 and something thousand views. You should be proud. What came out of that? Tony Khan complaining on Twitter and making excuses and doing all this other stuff. None of the positiveness of them being able to go toe to toe with Cena, Taker, like an NXT thing, and you still pulled out 600,000 viewers and the baseball playoffs. No one cared. It was all about Tony can't handle the loss. Tony can't handle this. You're detracting from the overall company. So, like this company, as much as you want to root for it, it's like they make one step forward and 3 steps back every time.
Yeah.
I hear you there. I will say, challenger brand wise, though, that's kind of the nature of the beast, right? If you go back and look at
true, but it didn't help them.
No, it doesn't. But I mean, you look at Lyft and Uber, right? Lyft tried to do different things, chasing Uber, for example, right? Just to separate the two, right? They try to do, they went with the pink aesthetic, they went with the mustache. They did different tactics to try to chase the big gun in the industry, and some of them worked, some didn't. And I think that it's weird because we've watched so much wrestling. And while I completely you're spot on, I agree with your sentiments, but I do think the expectations on a challenger brand are too high for someone like AEW. The fact that they can financially close to compete, at least in production quality on television, close.
The $1 million question is whether or not they're, again, we have no idea to know because it's a private company, whether or not they're legitimately turning a profit or this is just the con money.
Well, I mean, even then, that is the beauty. That is the beauty of a private company being.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, as a whole,
as opposed to publicly traded,
we've all seen the photos. Shows they're not drawing. Like we're seeing legitimate photos from week after week.
1,000%.
That's concerning to me as a wrestling fan that wants every company to succeed. Looking at that, you're going, okay, if you don't have con money, you're not surviving.
Of course.
Based on that.
I couldn't agree more. But I've got to say, taking losses is a huge, financially speaking, part of being a challenger brand.
But you have to have the war chest to do it.
You have to have the resources to possibly do it, which the cons, as you mentioned, I believe do. And so if they are taking losses on some, I don't think every building isn't profitable. I have a hard time believing that every building they're in isn't profitable. Between merch sales, between ticket sales, between all of that, pay-per-views, between the television contract, I don't think they're necessarily, the wrong way financially. But I bet there are shows that they've walked away from going, dang, we cracked even. Or we took an L on that. But I mean, as a dude who's carried golf bags and missed cuts and taken an L on a week, that's kind of the nature of the beast, right? At the end of the day, and if you're going to be a challenger brand, so this is where I find it fascinating. You think about a company like a TNA now, right? Impact. And how many L's they may have taken? I bet not very many. I bet they're above water. I bet they make money
now because they're not.
No, I bet they have the whole time. But to spend the money to chase, they've never done. They have never, to that extent. They didn't book Wembley. They didn't book any stadium of that size. Not once. No. They've booked 10,000, 15,000 seat arena.
Yeah.
No, I get that.
They never booked Wembley. They've never chased that big dog outside of, and even vocally to the extent that AEW has. If you really think about it,
well,
TNA,
the one thing they did and AEW has not done, they went head to head with WWE on Monday nights.
And how
They
that
last, but they
got
did.
slaughtered.
But except for, by the way, that's not true either because they went head to head on Wednesday nights and NXT moved back a night.
No.
Oh, you talking
Listen,
about AEW?
They took
You
a
talking
seat.
about TNA though?
But
yeah,
TNA
you were
went
talking about
head to head with
TNA,
Raw.
but that's a flagship show against a flagship show. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a developmental brand going against a main brand.
Well, and that's it's hindsight's always hindsight. I hear you there, but I mean, they did directly compete and won.
They beat a developmental brand.
Hey, hindsight's always 2020. I mean, don't get me
No, I
wrong.
mean,
I put NXT over as often as anybody. I cover it every Tuesday night on Off the Air. Please tune in, by the way, guys.
Nice plug.
It's a good one, but cheap plug. But NXT wise, it's great. It is a developmental show. That's a nice excuse. They'd still move back. They went a different day.
They did.
A loss
And-
is a loss is a loss is a loss.
Oh
is a
no, I'm
loss
not
is a
saying
loss.
that they didn't lose, but again, it's not an apples to apples comparison either.
It isn't,
not.
but at the same time, I mean, I'm not trying to dog TNA, but my point is, TNA, I never viewed as a true challenger brand. Never.
No,
in
they
my
were
life.
they were default number 2. Same
was a-
same thing with
yeah, you know.
AEW. It was a default number 2 because
They were
else in the
Sierra
industry.
Mist to Sprite, right? Like we're just cool. If we're the only ones available, you'll get us. You know, it's that is what they've done and accomplished. And I'm not knocking TNA in the least. Dixie Carter, whether it's Jeff Jarrett, whether it's whoever's been at the helm, it's always been an effective, fun product. AEW chasing larger, I feel like, has made in its own way waves because it bugs people. It totally bothers. AEW bothers people in a way that we have not seen in wrestling since WCW. They're on a network. And we have the same thing, same list. Tony Khan's got a bunch of money. The Khans have a bunch of money. And they got a network deal and this and that and the other. They are Lyft to Uber. They are Domino's to Pizza Hut back in the day. And now those are even these days, right? Like, I mean, we look at it in almost any market, right? Continental to Xerox is a perfect example. You look at it, it's easy when you see the same team at the top of the heap for that many years. nice chair scoot there. So you see,
But it's so
no, but when you see the same
Barry's
team
dying.
at the top of the heap, it's easy to think, well, they're untouchable. They this and that and the other. I love the competition. I love that it bugs and is under the skin, whether it's win or loss, over and over and over and over again. They may beat AEW in the ratings, but AEW is still chasing. They still are 100%. And that, I think, is the beauty of All Elite Wrestling thus far. No matter what your opinion is of Tony Khan and his opinions, what he says, he's going after the big guys.
Oh yeah.
And he's not afraid.
I think as well as an AEW fan as well, I'll happily admit this. I think All Elite Wrestling will never, ever, ever be the number one company. And that's just the fact of life. You know, WWE are but we can be as the alternative. And I think that's what some fans have forgotten. AEW is meant to be an alternative. It's never meant to be the one to take the number one spot. It's meant to be, if you don't like watching WWE or you don't want to work for the number one company and you can do something else, go watch AEW, go to TNA, go to, I wouldn't say NWA because we already shit on that enough as it is, but focus on what AEW is. It's the alternative. It's another alternative of a thing to watch. Like it's like, I don't know, like the NFL or like trying to watch an alternative to that kind of league. Like you got options. Just appreciate that. Do you want to go back to WWE having the monopoly? Does anyone want to go back to that?
I agree. I see, and I love the NFL thing that you said, right? I look at it like Brady and Peyton Manning back in the day when Brady was at his height. It's like Brady is the best in the league, the best winner, but Peyton might get him. He just might. There's something there, right?
Yeah.
And you watch those games and you sit there and you're like, well, if the Colts had done this and that and the other, then maybe they could have won. No, they didn't. But the fact that they made you believe for a second, right?
Yeah.
I agree with you. I don't think AEW will ever be number one over WWE in the ratings. Like that is, or at least maybe in our lifetime, it will be old men and be laughing about it,
Yeah.
smoking cigars and drinking wine in our 60s. But by the time that happens, realistically speaking, but that's what's so funny to me that I don't understand is we finally have a challenger and a reason to watch someone else. And all we want to do is poke holes in them. Like, I've never understood that construct.
Welcome to WWE wrestling fan base.
Yeah. I mean, something I'll say as well, from the many wrestlers I've interviewed on the Soul Sessions within this past 6 months in season 3, a lot of them can't stand tribalism within the wrestling community. Yes. They honestly don't get it. They feel like it's only appropriate with like this kind of culture with wrestling fans, is that they always want to see what their wants to do or their wants to do. But at the end of the day, like, it's under the whole banner of wrestling, and it's a niche community in itself. So I mean, why are we fighting and having our own civil war when we're so niche as it is?
I mean, it's not even just exclusive to wrestling. You see with comic fans, Marvel and DC. I mean, and sports teams rival. I mean, I think a lot of that stems from sports too. My team's facing their team. A lot of it stems from that. But wrestling's like entertainment. To me, I view wrestling as entertainment. Same thing with the comics. I'm like, you could like both or like one. You don't have to crap on the other. That's just always been my thought.
Yeah,
100%.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Fair points from all of you guys regarding that, and especially regarding AEW. The only two things I just want for the next pay-per-view is better pacing in building the card, because I do feel like for the most part it felt very rushed at times putting matches together. Even though CM Punk is gone, and we're happy to be part of history of being seeing Punk's possibly final match. Adam Copeland is a very good replacement, in my opinion, for Punk. You could definitely put him right in the middle like they did with Punk, and I think that will sell tickets for sure. I just want a better pace card, less multi-man instead of trying to cram everyone on the card. Maybe have the Stadium Stampede again. I thought that was decently paced, and especially for while being there, I was able to keep up with all the action. So they did pace it quite well. And there's more singles matches. Kenny should have his own match. Darby Allin should have his own match. Hook should be in his own match, all that kind of stuff. Anyone that was gone.
I agree with you, Chaos. I think what happened there is the same thing WWE has the habit of doing. Well, it's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
We're trying to get everybody on the card. But that's not what WrestleMania was designed for. It was supposed to be the best of the best. It wasn't supposed to be just to get people on the card. Like, if you want to do that, then do some type of battle royal or something to get these people on the pre-show. Maybe do a couple battle royals, one for the women, one for the guys, to get them. If you absolutely have to do that, but on the main card, it should be, pun intended, the elite of the elite. Like, that's what should be on a card of that magnitude. If you're going to call it the biggest show, it needs to be. You don't just do tag matches to get people on the show.
Yeah. Simple. That's total facts. On that note, we've come to the end of this episode. Very AEW centric with a little bit of NWA sprinkled in. Thank you very
Morgan.
Thank you very much, Anthony, Soul, and Clark Taylor, for joining us on this awesome episode. It's been great to have you guys. Like I said at the beginning of the show, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Goes a long way. Make sure you follow at Wrestling Republic and at official_TITTT for all the latest updates, breaking news, rants, clips from the daily, and all the venom and vitriol we get from the comments. Anyway, other than that,
I've seen those comments, you boys. Ooh,
oh man, people do not hold back. It's crazy.
Do we need to cut to James Mitchell before we go? I'm just asking.
Say it, sorry? Oh my God.
James Mitchell before we go?
Monster shout out James Mitchell.
Thanks, James Mitchell. I got your package in the mail. It was a nice, cute. I mean, actually, I have it right here.
Oh, for flip's sake.
Oh, Mitchell, so much. So much. I mean, Jesus, come on.
I mean, that is a brick.
It's a lot of
well, you do need to tape it like that because you don't want anything spilling out. I mean, it's very easy.
No, I mean, it was a nice custom for you, though. But I mean, thanks, Farmer Mitchell. Thank you.
That's definitely some Breaking Bad type of brick. Anyway, moving on. I have been your host, Chaos. That has been he has been Anthony. Down below has been Soul. Over there has been Clark Taylor. And there's the big brick. And until next time, guys.
Don't open it now. So don't open it.
Please don't. Take care, guys. Oh my God.